And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
If you knew what you were made of, then we would save the world.
Didn't I tell you guys? Didn't I tell you guys? I should change the name of this channel to The King Mono Predicts, because I told you what time. Like, I'm not gonna make too much of a big deal about it, but I told you guys what time it was. And
told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you.
It's just come out that everything that I said in my only other video about this topic, I'm surprised I'm coming back to it, but I only came here to gloat, really. The only other video I did about this topic, everything that I said, everything that I predicted came true. I'm saying she's not a bad bitch, and she's trying to sell this idea that she is, and she's not. She's basic. Okay, she's just a basic bee who just needs to just be happy with her lot in life, but at the same time, hey, she wants to do more. She wants the podcast to succeed, and to make the podcast that she's got with her other basic friend succeed, she needs to sell a story that is more effective, something that makes people want to tune in and want to perhaps take some advice from her. I told you, everybody was spazzing out about this girl. Oh my god, she's horrible, she's so loose, blah blah blah. And I came out of my video and I said she's basic. I said this girl is basic. I've seen 1,000 of her before. The reason I was so confident and I knew I was correct is because she's literally an archetype. I said she was a mollycoddled, prudish, quiet girl who's putting on an act that she thinks is cool and she thinks is going to be appealing, and she's going to use that to grow her channel. And her and Akaash find this really exciting, and none of this is real. And everyone really wants to believe that she's been going around these anyway, watch for yourself. This is called TKM's catharsis.
Here we go. We got a little.
Tonight on Flagrant, the truth will be revealed. Marriages will be shattered. Friendships destroyed. Nothing will be the same again.
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
Brother, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us what's been on your mind,
Dude,
what's been on your heart.
I'm so glad you asked me, man. It's been really hard for me.
Hard for you?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Jasleen Senior's in the building. She wants vengeance. Security is here. Security is stopping her. The police.
Kind of have.
I mean, even at this point, you can just tell, like, she's so uncomfortable even doing this kind of act. Okay, prude. I said it from the start.
An idea. All right, we're gonna shout out. They put in some effort. They hired some midgets and put on a show. So good for them.
Popping pussy.
Yeah. Let's just get some definition.
Okay.
We're gonna any terms that you might need to know the actual meaning of. Alex is here to break it down.
I thought it was just like dancing, getting dressed up, and maybe that was my mistake.
Pretty good.
I told you. The issue comes from when they come out of that and then they want it so bad that they start to project it into a life that they never had. So they start to say they did things and they start to claim. So they remember that one or two songs that they heard when they were in university, and they're like,
Drop that pussy, bitch. What you twerking?
oh yeah, we were listening to this every day, and you're gonna see it in this video. I was popping my P word for all the guys in the white boy frat house. Like, you weren't, Jasleen. You were dressed in an oversized sweater and oversized loose fitting baggy pants, and no one was interested in you. Like, I said that. I said when she made this about popping her P word, this was her reciting lyrics from a song and thinking that it sound cool.
That was my bad. That was my bad.
That was your bad.
Allegedly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, is it true that you said that there was a rotation of guys?
A roster. Yeah, what is a roster?
What does that
mean to
mean?
you?
What does this mean?
You guys have to understand, have you ever heard of the repressed Catholic schoolgirl? The repressed Indian girl that I didn't even watch Jersey Shore in high school because I felt it to be too inappropriate.
But trust me, do not be fooled. When it comes out, people who went to university with Jasleen start to come out of the woodwork and be like, yeah, she didn't do any of that stuff she's talking about. She's lying. She's lying about everything. She is basic. She's a basic good wife, okay, who's never done any of the things that she's talking about. I firmly believe she definitely was a virgin when they got married. There's everything right with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is she's out there lying on the internet now to kind of like build a following, which is, hey, come on, you don't need to drop to your knees in appreciation of the prophet. Okay, I told you this is what it is. Let me make something clear. I know a lot of you don't want to accept these words that she's kind of given right now, but this is the real her. And I said that, okay? This is a girl who is repressed and who's prudish and who's trying to run the game, and everybody is falling for it. And now the truth, this is the truth. This is the real her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's disappointing. I know it's really fun to hate on her, but you know, I said this.
Told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you.
He was going down on me. Looking around down there, like more blood can sometimes come out even if your period is over. Like
You see, I think this happened to Akaash. I think this story is about Akaash because I think she's a liar. Like I said to you from the jump, yeah, I think that all of this is a lie. I don't think this happened in college. She was a prude in college, okay? And this is a lie. This story happened to Akaash, and she thinks making it about what happened in college gives her a backstory. Just remember, this is what I've said from the jump. Okay? In her mind, her life is playing out like an episode of the Kardashians. Okay, this isn't real. Okay, none of this is real. This is a basic girl.
We have videos of what you said before, so now I'm just looking at this like, okay, whatever.
Everything I say is so amplified and hyperbolic because it's so like incongruous to who I actually am as a person.
Right. So you're
You hear that? It's incongruent to who I am as a person. Remember, I said she's a good girl. All of this stuff about, oh yeah, I don't do that. Like, this is just her trying to create a character. Okay, Akaash has no problem having dinner cooked on the table when he gets back. She's a good Indian girl. That's why he married her. He wasn't some, like, people think like this. Trust me, this is all fake, and it's worked because her numbers have skyrocketed. She has actual viewers on her podcast, which is what she wanted, and she needed to create a character in order to do that. That's all it is. She like I said, she's never been with anyone else other than Akaash, and it's honorable and it's wonderful. And him actually allowing her to partake in this character, I think he finds that very attractive. Okay, it's kind of like, you know, it's like a kind of like a cuckold kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I think he finds it kind of attractive, her going on, becoming this character. I think it's kind of racy. It's probably helped their relationship quite a bit. Her being able to act like this person who she's not. Okay, it's got nothing to do with like this dude. Trust me, he's in full control of this.
You're saying you're a big old prude.
Yeah, literally.
And so no real roster.
Yes.
Because what a roster is.
And by the way, to be clear, I don't think I even heard anyone use the word prude. Yeah, this is all coming out and it's said 100 times. So I know everyone's watching this and they're like, oh, it's a lie, or this, that, and the other, or TKM, we didn't predict anything. But when I made that video, it was literally going against the grain of what everyone was saying. London is full of Jasleen Singhs. These prudish, coddled girls who go through college, go through school, and they don't do anything. Everyone was making like hundreds, obviously my video didn't get no views, whatever, but everyone was getting hundreds of thousands of views saying this, that, and the other. And I was like, you guys are not falling for this crap, are you? This girl is a prude. Okay, she's a quiet, like, she's literally saying the exact backstory that I gave her, and nobody was giving her that backstory when I said it. So I'm just gonna, you know, I have to gloat a little bit, you know, I have to gloat just a little bit.
A roster is it's a lot of people. When I heard roster was like sports, that's the roster. That's the roster of that team. You know what I mean?
And what you said is key. She doesn't know what she's saying. Okay, that's literally 101 of people who are putting on a mask. Okay, they're using language. Okay, they're using nomenclature that they're not familiar with. She's using language that she's kind of heard Kardashians say, and she's kind of putting together terms in the hope that when she smushes it all together, she'll look like she's this bad bee. But like I said, she's not a bad bee. She's a basic bee, and this is exactly what I expected her to come out with. Remember, I was the one who said also she isn't gonna leave Akaash. They're not gonna get some divorce. He's not gonna be like, I'm divorcing you. This is like this. I said none of that is coming. Okay, they're gonna have kids in a couple years' time, and it's gonna be all good because this was nothing more than an act to grow her social profile, to give her some clout. And look, it's kind of worked. It's kind of worked.
Oh, hooking up. It's just like, just kissing. No, it's not. And she's what, 31, 32, 32? You don't know what these words mean? Girl.
She had a roster of dudes. She was popping pussy, and she was hooking up, and they were eating her out on her period, and she was a virgin, and it was just kissing.
None of that happened. That's the thing, guys. Like I said to you before, none of that happened. The only person who has had access to that is Akaash. Again, when she was in college, like I said, her pop and her pee was turning up to a couple of parties, the 2 parties that she was invited to over the 3 years when she was there. That's it. That's the extent of her popping her P word and maybe having a phone conversation with a couple of guys. Trust me, didn't go beyond that. Didn't go beyond that. The girls are prude.
Do you consider yourself a good gold digger?
Yeah. Because
even look at the way she's dressed now. I'm not dissing the way she dressed, but that's how she's comfortable. Like I said, these kind of like oversight, like all of this kind of like big deal that he makes out about her looks. A lot of that is projection. Oh my God. I mean, she just objectively hot and this, that, and uses all of these, like she's already said, hyperbolic terms to describe her. She's just kind of like an average, and I'm not one who judges looks, but she's just a very kind of run-of-the-mill average Asian girl, and she carries herself posture-wise well. That's it. There's nothing more to it. Kind of like all of this kind of like projection of sexiness and stuff like that she's trying to live up to. It's kind of like it's doing too much. There's too much effort involved in this. This is where she's comfortable. She looks comfortable right now because she's being herself for once,
MTV shows, and what I didn't count on is all of them being taken away at 1 year, because I maybe they just looked at me and they were like, he's old, I don't know, but I had like 7 MTV shows. I wasn't making crazy money. I was making like low 6 figures, but my girlfriend at the time, she moved into our place, and then all of a sudden, end of 2017,
is Akaash funny? This is a genuine question for the community. Yeah, people who kind of watch my videos, just like let me know in the comments, is Akaash actually funny? I haven't consumed any of this content. I don't know about any of these MTV shows he was in. I watched Wild 'N Out occasionally, and I can't remember him, which is either a sign that I didn't watch it enough or a sign that he's forgettable. I don't know, it could be either, but put it in the comments just so I know, like, is this dude actually, is he actually funny? Is he worth looking out for? Should I tune into Flagrant? I don't know. You let me know.
all the shows started suddenly getting canceled one by one.
Like, lady, you met him. It's because your sister told you that she thought he was really funny back in 2015, 2016. He was already on television doing Wild 'N Out. He was already doing a bunch of MTV shows. Even him going like, yo, you know, she was prospecting. It's like, you admitted you were making low 6 figures in 2015. Like, why are we pretending like you're not a top?
Look, and at the end of the day, to be clear as well, low 6 figures, money aside, low 6 figures is a lot of money. Okay, it puts you in, you know, you're making good amounts of money, and that could be anything under 300k. Okay, but aside from the actual money that he was making from his career, he also was, you know, I would say objectively well known. You could say a low tier celebrity. If you're appearing on 6 or 7 MTV shows, that means you're being invited to probably a few events, maybe a few red carpet events. It means that you're known in Hollywood. It means that your social profile is high. So irrespective of him making, whether he's making millions or hundreds of thousands or even a few $1,000s, he has this high social profile, which creates a lot of potential. And the reality is, most women would see the potential in that. It's not like you sought him out when he was, you know, just in the second year of his plumbing degree or something like that, you know, where he hasn't created anything. He'd already created a profile for himself, and there was plenty of opportunity for him to create income from these, you know, these paths that he had already trodden for himself. So yeah, I agree with them here in that there's no, she didn't do any grassroots work with him. You know, she didn't find a diamond in the rough. She essentially found, you know, a gem that was already, you know, maybe had a few smears on it, but was already kind of worth something in the market. So yeah, I kind of agree with them here.
If your threshold to even date someone is six figure.
The fact of the matter is, guys might want to flex all they want, and you meet a lot of guys who act like, "Oh, it's not a lot of money." Anyone who's making six figures, in excess of six figures, that's normally a flex. You know, like guys will say, you know, I left a job that was a six-figure salary. So anyone who is trying to claim that six figures is not a lot of money is just being dishonest. You know, I meet guys who kind of like, you know, oh, six figures, dude, you're living in an estate, man. What are you talking about? You're living in the state and you catch the bus, six figures would be transformative for you. I meet too many of these guys who talk like that. It seems to be a thing these days where people talk like they're millionaires. It's like, dude, like you're not a million. You don't, you know, like you would do a lot to make a six-figure salary. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, yeah. So objectively, six figures is going to make you relatively well off and put you in, you know, the top earning sphere in most even Western nations. So let's just be realistic, you know.
When people saw me at my potential, I was not doing low six figures. I can tell you that much. I could at least tell you that. Yeah. When people looked at me,
my potential was, yeah, when me and my missus got together, my potential was £12 an hour. Yeah, so that's what you call buying invested low. Yeah, that's what you call invested low. Not figuring, oh yeah, he was on the low six figures. You know, when I made him, he was only making $250,000 a year and was on, you know, was touring MTV. Like, come on, man, what are we doing here?
He said he got potential. Yo, I didn't have nothing but $1 on my name.
That's crazy. That's so facts, because her idea of potential is a lot of people's endpoint.
You know what I mean, though?
Tell us about the duck. Do you always duck his kisses when there are not people around?
No, not when there aren't people around, just when there are people around. And I never even knew.
That's worse.
And I said this as well. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't get it twisted." Like I got a lot of humor and enjoyment out of her ducking his kisses. It's such a cringeworthy thing to look at, and that's only because the amount of lies that she's told. But once you figure out that she's lying about everything, you realize that her ducking the kisses is genuinely her being prudish. Yeah, genuinely her being prudish. I 100% could see it. I was like, no, she's a prude. The only thing, she continues to compound the lie by saying she's overstimulated. That's a lie as well. Oh, I felt overstimulated. You try to still make your prudishness sound sexy. It's like kind of like, oh, if you kiss me, I'm gonna get really hot, and then we're gonna have to go and do something. It's like, no, that's not it. You're literally a prude. Like, you don't want, like, you can talk all this talk, but when it comes to actually doing the do, that stuff's mad uncomfortable for you, because it's out of her realm of comfortability. And I said that from the jump. And she just confirming everything about her that I've said.
I didn't
Explain
know.
yourself.
I didn't know that I
Tell
did
us
that.
why.
I didn't know that I did that, so I really sat and thought about it. So I think it's a few things. I think it's like
she said she didn't know she did that. And I went, wait a minute, didn't you just do a video where you said you guys were working through that to figure out what's wrong with y'all?
And then I'll also respond to the people saying I don't like my husband because I turned away from a kiss. I've never liked PDA, physical touch. I find it really overstimulating. And so it's something I actually work through with my husband because that's his love language. And I
Overstimulating's a flex here. That's the thing. It's another lie. Yeah, just to be clear on that. She doesn't find that overstimulating. She's just a prude. And she doesn't want to come out on the podcast or on her TikTok and be like, I don't like kissing in public because I'm awkward. I'm socially awkward like that. She doesn't want to say that. So she has to say, I find it really overstimulating. And we've had to have like things when I'm like, don't do that because you know how that makes me. It's like, come on, man. Like, you're none of that. You're a prude. Just say, I get awkward in public when people try and, do sexual things because, like she just said, I didn't even watch Jersey Shore because I thought it was outlandish until she was in college. So remember what I said. This is the real. I'm giving you the real. Yeah.
Maybe it's like the repressed Indian girl thing where it's like I get a little bashful. I do get a little shy despite what the internet thinks.
Most Indian.
What did I say? What did I say? Do we have to do a rewind? Do we have to do a rewind so we can see what I said and how correct I was? Jasleen Singh has done none of those things. I have seen her archetype not even 100 but 1,000,000 times. I've grown up in London and London is full of Jasleen Singhs. Jasleen is a good one. By the way, but all of you dissing Jasleen, you don't know Jasleen. Jasleen is a very, very good Asian wife. All of this stuff is fake. When Akaash comes home, she has got the house clean. She's got dinner ready for him. Jasleen, where is my dinner? It's on the table, dinner. Like, there's no problems in their marriage. Okay? Now, we can chalk this up to all being coincidence. And just, it's just coincidence that they just happen to be saying exactly what you said when you perfectly summarize everything that was taking place. This is all just a coincidence. Or she's lying to cover her back and this is the excuse. Or you can just kind of like give me my flowers, bow down and be like, you're right. You're right, King. I know I was right, by the way. I knew I was right when I made the video. There was no doubt in my mind. But this is great to hear. This is great to hear.
And talking about like getting head and all this stuff. So like in some ways it's like hyper traditional, like the most like you could never top like 90% of what she did, you would never have happened in a family that was remotely traditional.
But she didn't do any of it. Okay, this is the magic. Okay, that I keep telling you guys, she didn't do any of it. All of the stories are fabricated. She's drawn from a mixture of her relationship with Akaash and actual interactions they've had, hip hop videos that she's watched, and stories she heard while she was in college. And that's it. Okay, she's kind of like meshed them into this kind of series of fake stories and experiences of which she's done none. Okay, all of this is just a ploy. Like, I know I've said it before, I'm not going to exhaust it, but that's the key here. She hasn't actually done any of this stuff. She's telling the truth now. This is the full confession. I have been lying. And it would be nice if she actually just came back out and said that instead of all of this, I'm being hyperbolic. She just had to come out and say, I've been lying. I didn't do any of that stuff, guys. But I don't know if she's going to say that now with the, how is that going to be taken with the amount of followers she's gained? She's probably like 10x or 20x in size. I don't know, and let's be honest with you as well. Flagrant don't mind this as well. Everyone's talking about she's wrecking Akaash's career. I know Akaash's name because of this controversy. Otherwise, I would know nothing about him. I would never, ever even have Flagrant on my screen. This, I think everyone's benefiting from this. And yeah, people can talk about the negative interactions and the amount of dislikes it's got. That's irrelevant. It's interaction. It's news people want to hear. So they know exactly what they're doing, what they're supporting, why they're doing this. It's great TV. And yeah, this is why they did it.
I mean, if you pop your pussy, you didn't hear that from your mom. You heard that somewhere else.
She heard it on a song. Like I said, remember I said that she heard it on a song. Okay. And she thought, that sounds cool. That sounds Kardashian. And that's what she did. She put it out there. not knowing the full implications, or maybe knowing the full implications and not caring because she's trying to paint a picture of something.
But can I just say, there's so many TikToks where I talk so positively about him. And
but why does that? Why that doesn't go viral? Positively talking about people.
Well, yeah, but I was just saying, I found so many TikToks where I was saying so many amazing, uplifting things, but they didn't grab onto that.
That will never.
And also, this is an important point because I maybe didn't stress this before. How badly she's handled this is also a big clue to her naivety in terms of, or I should say naivete, her naivety in regards to how the world works. That is actually the biggest thing that made it obvious for me, the biggest symptom. In fact, she's entirely naive in terms of how she was portraying herself was going to make their relationship and make her husband and make everyone look. That's naivety, okay? Not being exposed to certain things and then suddenly claiming that you do it and thinking that that's going to be harmless, but not knowing that actually there's consequences to behaving, talking, acting a certain way and for putting that out in the public. And her being entirely naive to that, that's what makes it really obvious to me. That made it really obvious to me that, you know, anyone who's done all the things that she actually had claimed to do would actually feel a degree of shame about it, which is why for everyone, it was kind of like, this is why everyone jumped on this, because it's kind of like, it's not that girls don't do that in college, but it's the fact that you've got to start a podcast and start boasting about that. That is wild. No one does that because people who've actually done it don't feel proud about the way that they behaved back then. They feel proud of the situation that they were in, which is why everyone's like, this girl is so ungrateful. No one can compute it other than the fact that she was lying from the beginning. You know, that's all there is to it.
Never, the internet will never reward positivity.
Yeah, that's true.
Lesson learned.
Let's say she's like, my husband's awesome. I don't think anybody on the internet's going to care. Same way if a bus driver tells me I drive a bus. Because at the end of the day, you married him, I assume you like him. And if you said here about your husband on a like equal playing field, I don't really like my husband. I don't even think most people are going to care either. But when you go, I'm going to make you sign a prenup, but I would never sign a prenup if I made lots of money. Now you're going into a different territory. And I'm sure if you did something nice for your husband to that degree on the opposite end, I'm sure people would probably latch onto it. But just engaging in the normal realm of stuff, no one gives a fuck. I walked my husband's dog. I'm not agree.
And there, what Abba has just said there, literally frames everything that I've literally been saying about this girl. Her actual real life, the normal stuff that goes on, no one is going to care about it. No one's going to care about what she has to put out there. Her story is boring. I used to be a prude, and then as soon as I got out of uni, I married a guy who I met. And that's the podcast. That's the tale of our podcast. You know, I'm going to tell you about how I stay at home all day and which, you know, detergent I use to wash the dishes and to wash clothes, and how I iron all day, and how I've started this podcast with another girl who's in exactly the same situation as me. And we are both basic. No one cares. That sounds like the most boring podcast. So what do? You spice it up by creating some fallacious backstories, which is exactly what she did. Okay. They were made up backstories, and that's why she did it. So you've literally just given the motive. That's the motive. I hope people can start putting it together. And then you come to me. If you don't get it fully, just come to me humbly in my comments and be like, dude, you predicted this. How did you see it? Your insight is so glaze me a bit. And I'll be like, yeah, cool. Okay, this is what we need to do. Let me bring you on. No, I'm just playing, man.
The orgy thing was fucking, a lot of people, myself included, like I saw that and I was like, why would she even joke around about that?
I think I learned so much of my humor from Akaash, not to like justify it, but just to explain like, oh, if I say these absurd things, it's so funny because it's not who I actually am.
And if she wasn't, that body count thing, I'd have been like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Because I would have been insecure about it. But I can be, not that I'm so secure, but with that joke, I'm like so secure.
Oh, I absolutely would feel insecure.
And I think stupidly, I was like, oh, it's an orgy, so it's all of us. It's not like
talking. Yeah, that is stupid.
Yeah.
And it is stupid, but it's also naive. Yeah, naive. The girl's naive. So when I literally genuinely believe that she's making this joke. She's just making it because she thinks it sounds cool. She doesn't understand, as listeners, how low down, despicable, and to be quite frank, how whorish it sounds. It sounds cringeworthy, but she doesn't realize that because she's a mollycoddled prude, she thinks it's cool because in her head, she's imagining Kim Kardashian saying it, like Kim sitting with her sister being like, oh my God, Lamar is so cute. I would love to. And that's what she's imagining in her head when she's telling that story. It's a prude. She's a naive little girl. This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. She's naive.
She's saying it's a bit. It's not true. She's 100% a virgin. And you entered this.
That part. And that's what I said. Okay? 100% that part.
This internet game and you don't think someone's going to see that? I was hooking up with a guy. You're a prude. You're not talking about I was kissing this guy and that guy and that guy and that. You're going to keep it to yourself. Yeah, there's levels to being prude, I guess.
And just to be clear as well, that's why none of the frat boys have come out, or the woodwork, be like, yeah, I used to pop that. Yeah. Do you know how many people, like, this would be a fantastic opportunity for people with no profile to create a profile for themselves and to make some money. Okay, some of her girlfriends from college, they're not coming out of the woodwork because they don't exist, because this story is a complete fabrication. And the only ones that could come out are the ones that can literally expose her for being a prude. That's it. And I don't know how interesting that story is, or if anyone wants to hear that.
See them? You're not thinking. So it is important for you to not kiss in front of your parents. It's important. But even the word, and you're a prude, even the word, if you think dancing and you're a prude, you're not going to use pop your pussy, my girl. There's something about it that's extremely off.
There's an undertone of irritation after like day 2 where you can tell she's like, all right, let's.
I mean,
but she's very,
2 days.
Okay, can I just say, I feel like you guys are a little bit, like, you guys exaggerate a lot. And just.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Us.
And for context,
We exaggerate.
Yes. And like.
Ridiculous.
Literally.
Oh, you think everything's wrestling? Do you think that's
Everything's
what
a joke?
You think we're just.
I'm going to be honest with you, I find the pod so corny. It's just.
That part too. I mean, what a cheesy show, man. And I'm just watching it. This is like painful. Even watching clips that have been selected is painful for me, man. Jeez.
All the fake laughing and all the like, oh, it's like, we get it, bro. Just shut the fuck up.
Then when Akaash is sick, you hate taking care of him.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, do I like it? No. I would do it. But why would anyone like taking care of a sick person?
That's a good point.
I guess this pod was supposed to make her look more reasonable or decent. I don't know. You think it's working? No.
It's like when Akaash's birthday comes around.
Yeah.
I have to pretend that it's like so special, but
I
it's
don't
like
even ask for this.
the one day. Yeah, you do. The one day of the year that I have to like be totally selfless.
Oh yeah, that I
which
want.
is really hard for me.
Yeah,
Jasleen, you're doing a horrible job right now. Go back in. Go back in.
Yeah. But like the whole bit thing, like, do I truly believe it? No, not really. I don't. Let's say it really was a bit. Okay, so you decided to pretend to be for a plus year and a half so you can get your views and likes up. And then you got the consequences of like who embarrasses her husband for the sake of marketing. Either way, you're still a piece of shit in my eyes.
But she did it with his permission, and that's the part that everyone's missing. Akaash has been along for this ride the full way. He's like, say whatever you want to say. Remember, she's actually made it very clear. She got the blueprint from him. Okay, he's like, be hyperbolic, exaggerate, tell these stories. It's not going to offend me because I know what the truth is. And she's like, are you sure people are wanting to? I might be taking a bit far, Akaash. I don't know if I should do that. And he's like, nah, go ahead, go with it. You know, have a blast. Enjoy it, Jasleen, you know, because he feels sorry for her. You know, she's lived a mollycoddled life. She's got a podcast. No one's watching it. No one cares. So he's like, hey, you know, have some fun. Tell us about outlandish stories. Do what you think needs to do. You know, you're so hot. You're so hot after all. You're so hot. You just need a bit of a backstory. That's what this is. This is what it's always been. It's what it's always been. I'm telling you. It's what it's always been.
Because at the end of the day, either you did it to get some notoriety and you embarrassed your husband successfully, or it is real and you embarrassed your husband successfully. I could get online and talk about how piece of shit my wife is, and none of it's true, and I'm doing it to go viral. But if I do this long enough and I get that notoriety, it don't really matter because everyone's going to look at her funny. And I can't be mad at them because I was actively committed to the bit of trying to. There was no point in this that I said it was a joke. There was no point in this I said it wasn't true. I just kept going to get my views up. And then when it went mega viral and then I got consequences, then I wanted to go, it's a bit. Why should anyone believe you? You committed for so long.
Well, in some ways, that's what every grifter does. So as hard as we are on her, like, isn't that exactly what like Hodge twins are doing? Stevie Knight, Officer Tatum, all of these coons, you know, who will just literally say the most outlandish things. Critical Drinker, you know, a lot of these people out there who will just spreading hate for clout. Okay, spreading hate for follows, likes, views, and income. Okay, that's literally a definition of grifting. She just, I guess, tapped into a different formula. Okay, and this formula is kind of like, I'm going to pretend I have a backstory of being a philanderous, outrageously rich woman. Okay, that's what she's chosen her backstory to be. And well, I guess she's kind of like backing down now. So maybe they're preempting the backlash from this story, but she's already, I would say, probably built up enough of a profile for herself where they're both satisfied with the outcome. And now she can just kind of like sit back, chill, wait for the MTV office to come in so she can appear on the Real Housewives of wherever it is she's from. And then bish bash bosh, that's what it is. But she's a grifter, you know, and that's what grifters do. They don't set up their networks through integrity. They don't set up their outlets. They're not being real. You know, they're selling some kind of a extremely, you know, damaging for a certain sector of society perspective or outlook, and literally just push it out there, because they know that people who are of, you know, there's people out there who want that content, that extreme kind of content, and that's what she's doing. She's grifting for that community, you know. Grifters, they're a bane, but they're here, and we have to accept that they come in several different forms, you know.
So you're presenting this version of yourself online that's not true.
But you're actually a trad wife.
I was committing to this bit because I thought that was the funny thing to do, but I'm not a comedian, obviously.
You're not fooling me.
When did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
I'm going to play back a video there. This entire kind of like controversy is something that the singers have drummed up to create. You know, people are saying that she's ruined his career. She hasn't. I think she's galvanized his career. I don't think that's why they created it. I think that they created this entire backstory for Jasleen. Just no words needed.
So what I said earlier, she did this for views. That's her defense. She embarrassed her husband for views. All right, we got to change the saying. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. No. When someone tells you who they are, it's a bit. That she's going to admit that a lot of what she said is true. So it's on you, the audience, to decipher the half-truths from the complete lies to the I didn't know what the words mean to the truth. Okay.
If you want to know the truth, watch my video, which came out before this one. Yeah, before this one and before the confession. It came out at the height of Jasleen Singh slander and everybody looking at Akaash like he's the biggest simp in the world. It came out at the height of that, all right? And I cut through the mustard. Cutting the mustard doesn't mean farting. I cut through all of the gaff, all right? And I hit at the heart of what was going on here. And I was correct. So if you want to know what it is and not be confused, watch my previous video. Okay? Bye.